This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Welcome in to another week of the Meltdown as we are here with you on this Meltdown Monday. I am Tim Melton. We are broadcasting live from the Culver studio. Stop by there, get you some good grub there at Culver's. Let's welcome this cast of characters that we have that make up the Meltdown crew each and every day, including the lovely E.G. E.G., how are you?
Wonderful.
How about your Braves last night?
I know. It was great. We actually had a Braves watch party last night. I know.
I didn't get invited.
You were at Pokermania, and you made a big deal that we were colluding
that is correct.
To prevent Pokermania from happening. I heard it was a good time, though, for you as well.
It was. It worked out for everybody.
Good.
Like, I'm glad you pulled the people you pulled because it resulted in me having a wonderful Pokermania Sunday experience, and it resulted in you having a Braves win. So I think it is like worked out. We can make those noises now. We have Tyler Lionel Johns here in the studio as well. Tyler, how was the weekend, my friend?
It was pretty good. I took a little break from the movie theater.
Good for you.
I only saw one movie over the weekend.
Hold on. I took a break. I only saw one. It's like most people see one a month, one every 6 months.
Yeah. Year.
Well, I had thought about seeing the new Nicolas Cage movie, The Surfer, but I just don't care enough to see it. I might see it tonight if the Screen Unseen event isn't Friendship with Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson. But other than that, I saw a horror movie called Rosario.
Eddie Rosario?
Does it have Rosario Dawson in it?
She's not in it. No.
She should be.
She should be.
Was the movie good?
It was pretty good. It was probably the grossest movie I've seen this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's basically sort of that Catholic horror feel to it, very familiar. But this is a Spanish family, Spanish-speaking family. So you've got a lot of extra cultural.
The Curse of El La Llorona, or whatever it was.
La Llorona.
La Llorona. I was so close.
But it focuses on like an offshoot of like Mexican Catholicism mixed with voodoo. And it gets really weird. The production design team did a great job making the texture of everything look disgusting.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this looked grimy and gross and slimy. So it centers around this woman having to wait for the ambulance to get to her grandmother's apartment after her grandmother passes. And some weird witchy things start happening.
Sounds right.
They just do such a good job making that apartment look like a room E.G. would not set foot in.
Oh, well, that's fair. This sounds like, I'm surprised she comes in here sometimes, just based on the fact that we are starting to get a little dusty and a little cluttered here with all the physical media that we've been able to haul in. But it sounds like this one, like you're really giving some praise here to the production team of what they were able to accomplish. And that's awesome. I love those sort of hidden gem, like things you can be really proud that the industry provides.
The story was pretty weak.
Yeah, you notice I was trying to focus on the highlights.
The performance wasn't convincing in any way, but the production design team killed it.
That's awesome. That's great.
And David Dasmalchian pops up as a creepy neighbor.
Even better. I'm still thinking about Late Night with the Devil to this day. Okay, I want to talk about my weekend a little bit. I'm going to start off with, I want to hear the good news or the bad news?
Bad news.
Bad news first?
Typically, yes.
Bad news first?
Sure.
Is that what we're going with? Okay, I'll go with this. So, we have family movie night that I try to replicate my childhood experience of going to the movie store, picking out a movie, going home. Everybody has that, and whether or not you realize that you long for it to come back in our lives, we have too many choices now, which leads to us making no choices at all. It's kind of awful what we've done culturally here when we had a system that worked, where you had to hunt for something, bring it home, and then enjoy it. And you hoped it was good, and sometimes it wasn't. But guess what? You got to do it all again, and it was more about going on the hunt than it was about the actual media itself sometimes.
The journey,
it was the journey, not the destination. Anyway, getting really deep and philosophical here. But we decided, I kind of decided, we were going to start our Harry Potter venture.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah.
This is bad news, Tim?
This is bad news. So the first Harry Potter is known as Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I've come to find out. There's a lot of these Harry Potter movies.
What'd you start with?
No, we started with Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Okay. You're convinced that I've screwed this up, that this is user error somehow.
Was the DVD scratched?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. So I have the DVD.
Uh-huh.
I put the DVD into the Xbox.
Uh-huh.
We sit down to watch this, and it is the full screen edition.
You need the widescreen.
And it is like watching a postage stamp.
Are you serious?
It's awful. Like it's like watching something at 4:3.
Yeah. It's 4:3 aspect ratio.
The screen was mostly all black, and I see this bearded wizard man trelancing, which I don't think is a word.
Traversing.
Trelancing sounds better. Traversing with, there's hooters everywhere, owls, and there's things happening at the beginning, right? And I can hardly see anything. I'm like squinting. You seen that meme of like somebody squinting there? That's what I was doing watching this, okay? And it's already late. We've gotten a little bit of a late start. It's like 8:30, okay?
Yeah.
So we're getting to that point where it's like, I need this to be good.
Yeah.
I need this to be right. If we're going to do Harry Potter, we got to do this right. Now, if you remember, I unboxed here on the channel a slew of Harry Potter box set in widescreen.
Yeah.
That it was the first 3 movies in widescreen. So I'm like, aha, I have a backup copy. Actually, no, that's not what happened. Let me back that up.
Okay.
I feel like we've pulled some Harry Potter Blu-rays. Have we not gotten one for Sorcerer's Stone?
I don't think we've pulled a lot of Harry Potter Blu-rays.
Oh, I thought for some reason we had Deathly Hallows on Blu-ray.
Maybe. I specifically have to start with Sorcerer's Stone, though, so maybe we do have a Deathly Hallows, and I'm just...
I don't know. I thought we had a Harry Potter Blu-ray.
Anyway, this story's gone to hell, but let me tell you, we're watching this full screen. I can't watch this. This is awful. So I go, I'm going to put it on HBO Max. Okay?
Oh,
Just going to put it on HBO Max and watch it there.
Yikes.
We put it on. I'm watching the big wizard dude, traverse with the
Dumbledore.
hooters going around again. And then I get the circle,
No, the loading.
the loading
of
circle,
death.
the buffering circle. And it starts to glitch out.
Oh no. Terrible.
Circle. And I'm like, what is going on? I shut down the app. I open it back up. I can't get it to work. So I then go, hey, I've got these.
Box set, widescreen.
Correct. So I go over and I'm like, am I going to be able to find them? Boom, they're right here. I've got them right here. Open them up. There's no DVDs in there. The box set that we opened that was like, this is awesome. Oh my gosh, it comes with the thing. There were no DVDs in there.
No.
I open it up and I'm like, what in the world is happening? It's like what Harry does with the glass at the Zootopia place.
That
it's like,
is awful.
yeah, they just
So-
disappeared. Poof,
I
voila.
love that you can halfway make Harry Potter references now.
Oh, I'm going to be
loving that.
making ton of them
Please do.
over
Please.
the summer, but they're going to be awful.
It's okay.
My goal is to make them abundantly clear in making Harry Potter references, but also abundantly awful. So anyway,
Wow.
so what did we do? I don't know what to do. I'm screaming. I don't know what to do. My family's looking at me like, is he okay? I'm screaming. I don't know what to do. When a giant cries, it creates floods. I don't know if you're aware of this. So I angrily throw away the boxes. Perfectly mint condition boxes. Mwah. Don't want them. Just reminders of the pain. Boom! In the garbage.
Throw it on the ground.
Did they shatter and the discs came out?
No, but it was an empty garbage can. You know that feeling when you throw
Yeah.
something away in an empty garbage can, you hear the thud on the bottom? That's what happened with these box sets that were empty. And I started also kind of cursing Second and Charles of like,
Yeah, that's pretty
how many more
shady.
times are we going to get screwed
I mean,
over on
you
the
would
mystery
think
box?
they would check to make sure that there's a disc there.
You would think, but what was interesting about this was it was a case that had the 3 cases in it, and within that case, there's 3 cases where you have to go within another case to get to the case and then unfold a case. It was like you would have had to have really cared to be able to open this up and check. Like you had to go through layers, which imagine my disappointment of going through the entire process and then opening it up and being like, okay, well, I want to see if it's this way for all 3. There was only 1 disc in the entire 3 boxes within the box set, and it was a bonus features disc.
Oh, come on.
So it
that's
wasn't
not
even the
true.
movie. So I just threw it in the garbage.
Smart.
So anyway, According to Smuff here, Harry Potter should probably be in the garbage to begin with.
Shut up, Smuff.
Yep. Smuff is our
Just
loyal
kidding.
Meltdonian channel member, so we're gonna say thank you so much, Smuff.
Thank you,
Okay,
Smuff.
let's try that again. Let's have a little bit of a nicer tone.
Thank you, Smuff.
Anyway, so I didn't know what to do, so I went back to HBO Max because I could not watch that full screen version.
No, absolutely.
Awful. I would have needed a telescope, and it just buffered pretty much the whole time until eventually my wife and child fell asleep. And we only made it through like 20 minutes of the movie. But they were enjoying what they were watching.
Good.
So anyway, we're going to continue. But we are now currently, if my calculations are correct, we are now 4% through the Harry Potter series. So
Excellent.
I can traverse with you about the first 4%.
Let's do it.
A lot of letters there in that first 4%.
Yeah, a lot of things happening at
A lot of
once.
things
The
happening.
cupboard under the stairs and the magic begins.
Yep.
No post on Sundays, though.
That is correct.
Privet Drive.
And then,
Number 4, Privet Drive.
guys, okay. I'm totally out of my league here when it comes to the Harry Potter
This is
trivia.
all in the first 20 minutes.
I just watched it. You guys are good. I've just gotten to Hagrid busting down a door. That's where
Okay,
I'm at.
Oh,
yeah.
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 You're ready to
Okay.
get the birthday cake scene.
We're working on that.
I like how it's spelled, too, with the icing.
My wife looked over at me and she goes, "Are we muggles?" I go, "I think we are."
You guys are muggles, but you kind of could be related to Hagrid.
Just because of his size.
Yeah. Beard.
Okay. I'll be Hagrid for Halloween. How's that sound?
Well, in Half-Blood Prince, or no, it was Order of the Phoenix. You get to meet Hagrid's brother,
Yeah, Grop.
Grop.
Okay. Well,
So maybe you will find a home within Hogwarts.
maybe so. I'm looking forward to all of that. Okay, enough about Harry Potter. Let's get to the real good stuff here. My Dallas Stars. I just got to talk about it for a second, okay?
Okay.
It's the third period. It's a game 7 of round 1. So it is do or die. Third period, they're down 2 goals to none. And I'm thinking, I mean, it's getting like, oh my gosh, it's getting grim. They're at home. Fans are sitting on their hands. You know, it's pitiful. They scored 4 goals in the third period alone.
Dang.
One player scored 3 goals, a hat trick in the third period. It was amazing. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I still have a little bit of a light rasp
Yeah.
in my voice from all the screaming I was doing. And it felt so good being a Dallas Mavericks fan that is also a big Dallas Stars fan, but the Mavericks have always been my team. For them to basically destroy their franchise this season by getting rid of Luka Doncic, but then by bringing in Miko into the Stars organization and him beating the team that traded him
Incredible.
in game 7 where he has 3 goals. It was amazing. And I don't know how many of you are hockey fans, but it was truly incredible. I thought it couldn't be topped this weekend in hockey action. For me personally, it wasn't, but we had a game last night, a series that goes to a game 7 between the Jets and the Blues, and the Jets are down a goal with 10 seconds left, and they score with 1.6 seconds left to send it into overtime. They then win, so it'll be Jets and Stars, both teams coming off of incredible highs in Game 7. And I just want to talk about, like, really quickly, EG, because I think, like, this is something that you would preach, but, like, the power of sports when it comes
Amen.
to just making your jaw hit the floor, no matter how many times you see the craziness, you always think, you know, that'll never be topped. And then something crazier happens, and it's like, it's unscripted fun. And depending on who you ask, a lot of people think it is scripted.
It's exhilarating, and all over Twitter last night, that's all that was there, was these hockey highlights. And I think that, I don't know, I feel like this could be the start of the larger portion of America falling in love with hockey.
Maybe the Stanley Cup playoffs are so
Yeah.
just intoxicatingly fun.
Yeah.
And you've been a real champion of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to cover hockey, and that's actually a pretty like common pipeline with sideline reporters, NHL to baseball season. So
Yeah.
you might see me at the rink.
One thing I've noticed, though, Tyler, is there's a lot of hockey players that have the need for major dental work. I mean, they have been just
No teeth.
teeth knocked out
It's gross.
all over the place. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I know we don't have a NHL team here in town. We do have other teams here in town. And if maybe they have players that are toothless. Toothless?
Toothless.
Toothless.
Yeah.
I almost wanted to say mouthless. That would be a big difference.
No, yeah, that would be awful.
No, toothless there in the mouth region. I recommend, if you want to prevent yourself from going toothless, you reach out to our friends over at Alabama Dental Associates. Guess where they're located?
Grantsmill Road.
That is correct. right down the street here. Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian was hanging out with Dr. Brian yesterday. Dr. Nolan over at Alabama Dental Associates, providing you all sorts of services when it comes to staying on top of your dental health. They've got so many things that they do right there in-house. Have you ever gone to the dentist and they're like, I'm sorry, you're going to need to see somebody else, and then you're going to have to go to somebody else, and you're going to have to go. No, right there at Alabama Dental Associates, you can get everything taken care of. They are the best, friendliest staff in town. Reach out and try Alabama Dental Associates for yourself. I love them so much, and I know you will love them too. You can feel at ease about all of your upcoming dental procedures. For more information or to make an appointment, call them 205-956-8977 or visit alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you. Okay, let's get to the big box office news from this past weekend. Tyler, it is no surprise that Thunderbolts is the #1 movie in the country. Sinners has been a wonderful story. It continues to be a wonderful story. We're going to talk more about Sinners here in just a few moments, but let's start off with Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts ended up with $76 million in its domestic debut. Is this a win, or is it not so much, based on the fact that critic scores were very high for this movie? Audience scores have been pretty high for this movie from people who went to go see it. But a movie like Brave New World that came out in February ended up making more money than this movie. What do you chalk that up to when that movie was not nearly as well received?
Brand power. Captain America, even whether we're talking about the Chris Evans version or Anthony Mackie's new Captain America, is just a stronger character and more recognizable than anybody in the Thunderbolts. I mean, with Thunderbolts, you got Bucky, you got Florence Pugh, but
a lot of people can't tell you, general audiences can't tell you when Florence Pugh debuted in the MCU, really.
Exactly. Most people, if you're talking about a Marvel Black Widow, you're thinking Scarlett Johansson.
That is correct.
Nobody else.
Yep.
But,
you know what else I think it is? I think it's the people who went to go see Brave New World went, well, I'm not going to go watch Marvel movies opening weekend anymore, too.
No, thank you. I don't want to get burned again. So I think.
How many times have audiences been burned over the past couple of years?
Too many.
A lot.
Too many.
Why? I mean, you personally have fatigue with Marvel. I'm not as far down the fatigue rabbit hole as you are. Like, I'm still going to watch them all opening weekend with some level of hope that they're, like, you know, going to be able to get back to form. But you are, like, really burnt out on Marvel.
I am. It's just so frustrating seeing all of this work be put into a movie that doesn't take itself seriously, like with Brave New World. And that's just more so related to them constantly cutting every emotional or impactful moment with bad humor. But it just makes me think, like, well, why am I watching this? You don't care about what you made either. Like, why do you want me to care? How do you expect me and millions of other people to care and pay money for this if you don't even care? You're not even willing to take this story seriously.
I continue to state with Marvel, and it's becoming a broken record, but I'll say it again because it's true, that Marvel, the thing that used to make it really special was everybody was on the same page. Everybody was, like, at the same moment. And it's like a train, right? Mm-hmm. Where no one was getting off the train. It's just more and more people were getting on it at different points of the MCU. But everyone was on this train, and Endgame was like that train reaching its destination. And all of a sudden, a lot of people got off the train, and they're trying to figure out, like, hey, guys, you know, we had so much fun on the train. Come on back. And it's not leading to a lot of people jumping back on, because all of a sudden there were multiple trains with, like, the television universe that they established. It created, much like the multiverse, you know, all these different branches for people to jump on. Like, you get a flavor, and you get a flavor, and you get a flavor, and everybody has their different flavors, and they're trying to appease to niche markets, and they forgot about the mainstream fan who wants the big overriding picture and making them happy.
And then the problem is when you bring all of those little pieces from the streaming services into the big movie in the theaters, people go, well, who is that?
Yeah.
Why do I care?
I'm sorry.
I still don't know what the point of Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character in Thunderbolts is. What was she introduced in? Why should I care?
That's fair. I mean, I'm not.
No, legitimately, what was she introduced in?
Oh, she was introduced in, if I'm not mistaken, let me think back here real quick. I want to say it was Falcon and Winter Soldier. She was introduced in. I'm sure if I'm wrong about that, someone in the chat will jump in. But I think it's Falcon and Winter Soldier is when she was introduced as a character. She plays Val in this, right? Mm-hmm. And
Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
There you go.
Ugh.
And she's not the right fit. I don't think she's the right fit. I mean, truly, honestly, I think like she stands out like a sore thumb sometimes as like, just doesn't work. Her sort of like, I see a lane. I'm sorry. I see a lane. And I know she's done other stuff, but her shoulders, it's just
I was expecting the little kicks to pop out.
Yeah. I'm not going to do that here. We may knock something over.
Yeah, we can't even see it on camera, so it doesn't matter.
I can't do little kicks if I try. I have such giant feet. I mean, like giant boots that I can't do that. But anyway,
Skis, if you will.
That is correct. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Remember, when a giant cries tears, he creates
Floods.
Lakes that overrun. But Hunter says that's correct, by the way, of when that character debuted. And I really liked Falcon and Winter Soldier. But, like, for instance, is it U.S. Agent? Is that? Yeah. Okay.
John Walker.
But he became Captain America, but then, I don't know, John Walker became Captain America, and then he became U.S. Agent. Anyway, point I'm getting to is, like, he debuted in Falcon and Winter Soldier. If you didn't watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, I mean, there's a lot over the past 2 movies that you're going like, what in the world is happening? Anthony Mackie is like, Captain America now, which you would have known from Endgame, but there was that struggle over him actually becoming Captain America during Falcon and Winter Soldier. If you didn't watch that, the past 2 movies, you've struggled with fully knowing what's going on. So that's an issue. Like, it used to be serialized movie making, and now it is literally, it's not serialized anymore. It's like everything's independent of one another, it feels like, and it's all sort of boils back in together, but nobody's clamoring for it because we're all on different pages. There's a mess.
There's no cohesive vision for how this saga is supposed to go.
Correct.
Thunderbolts felt like a filler episode, where like the majority of the plot just legitimately doesn't matter, and then the last 5 minutes they introduce the actual plot.
People are tired of the movies that they have to make in order for the future movies to make sense.
Yes.
And we've gotten a slew of those lately. You have to watch this now because I promise you things get good down the road. And, audiences want their time paid off now. They don't want to go down that let's rebuild mentality. The MCU's in a rebuilding phase after having won so many championships. But they're in a rebuilding phase. They are the Chicago Bulls after Jordan, where there's some hope. You may get a Derrick Rose in there, but you're still not going to be competing for championships. So we'll see what happens with the MCU. Everything is sort of leading now to Fantastic Four. Is Fantastic Four going to be another setup movie?
Yes, I 100%.
Just another setup movie?
I feel like that's where we're at now. That's not to say that these independent stories can't be good, but I just think with the MCU at this point, we're reaching what I call the Dragon Ball Z problem. And that is, once you've taken over and fought everybody, there's the strongest people in the world. You go to the strongest people in the galaxy, strongest people in the universe, strongest people in the multiverse. And it just keeps expanding to this point where it gets extremely convoluted and meta. And then you've got to slow it down some because you can't just burn out of this infinite power structure, like this power scaling problem. You can't just plow right through it. So you hold back and you get these filler episodes where you've got a 24-minute episode, you got a 2-minute intro, a 2-minute outro, about 15 minutes of filler, and then 5 of actual stuff that pushes the story forward. And that is where the MCU is at.
That's pretty well stated, and we sound like a bunch of Marvel haters, and we're really, I don't know, Tyler, you may be a Marvel hater. I'm just going to be honest. You may be a Marvel hater because they've turned you into a Marvel hater, and you're just like very much, I'm still cheering for them, but one thing that's ruined Marvel in these movies for me is The Boys. The Boys has ruined it because I can't watch Marvel movies now without going like, The Boys kind of made fun of y'all doing that, and you're walking right into the trap of doing it again. Thunderbolts felt more like The Boys than anything I'd seen before. Just a very toned down PG version of The Boys, but same sort of structure over how important it is to have an image and be sellable and like have this leader that's sort of this corporate executive that like, it feels very much like a toned down version of The Boys, this Thunderbolts story. With that being said, all these criticisms we've laid out, there are some elements of this movie that are like really well done. Like, I do like John Walker as a character. Mm-hmm. I think that there is great potential there for some depth. Red Guardian, I thought, was probably had the highest hit rate of comedy in the movie for me.
I laughed at that DoorDash line.
Yes. You know what? I was actually, I was like, oh man, if this wasn't written specifically for Tyler to giggle at, if he can't laugh at this, he's got a heart of stone.
No, I laughed at that.
Yeah, it's funny.
That was a good way to start off the movie.
Red Guardian was a highlight here. Florence Pugh was fantastic in bringing dramatic weight to this, and the character was really given a lot of layers. Mm-hmm. So that's a good thing. Some of the action sequences I thought looked really sharp. Like, it looked like something that did not belong on Disney Plus. It really lived up to the billing of this is a theatrical experience. So where does it go wrong? It just goes wrong from pedigree and star power. I mean, it's just like, it's clearly lacking. Like, it needs some bigger characters on screen. Like,
or more happening, because
bigger stakes. I don't know.
I don't know about bigger stakes.
Sentry did not work for me.
Sentry didn't work for me either. And that's why I don't know if like bigger stakes is the issue, because we keep a lot of fans are clamoring for the more street level movies, especially with stuff like Spider-Man, instead of these big like multiverse type threats. Yeah. But I don't know, Sentry I just couldn't take seriously at any point.
Yeah. I just, the Marvel has always had a villains problem. Mm-hmm. And you know that because we all agree on who the best villains in the MCU are. And because we all agree, that shows that there's a problem, because we shouldn't all agree. I mean, film should be subjective in that if I was to say, hey, who's been the best Batman villains throughout, Heath Ledger's Joker's going to be up there, Nicholson's Joker. We're going to agree on some, but somebody's going to go, DeVito's Penguin really worked for me. And some people are going to go, Tom Hardy's Bane I loved. And some people are
going to go, Cillian Murphy's Scarecrow really works.
You would be one of those people.
I would be one of those
people.
So,
like, there's an array of choices. You can put Liam Neeson in there. You can. Oh, yeah. There's tons of, like, debate about that. When you look at the MCU and all their villains, okay, Thanos, Loki, Hela, Vulture. I'm trying to think about who would be the fifth. But, like, that's the Mount Rushmore, in my opinion. Oh, I know. Killmonger. So that's
Killmonger's great.
That's the five right there. Okay, not in any particular order, just that's the five.
Like, yeah, I wouldn't rank Dormammu above any of those. Wouldn't rank.
No.
Let's see. Who else you got?
Exactly.
I'm struggling to think of them.
Those are the five.
You got was it Ronan from Guardians 1. That was generic henchman for Thanos.
Yeah, I was gonna say Thanos even gets the credit for Ronan. Yeah. So it's like, if you're gonna bring Ronan into it, it's just a Thanos victory argument.
What about struggling to think of her name now, from Deadpool and Wolverine? I thought they botched her real bad.
Oh yeah.
Is it Cassandra?
Yes. Cassandra. No. Something with an N.
Cassandra Nova.
Cassandra Nova. Yeah, no, that was not, we're less than a year from that movie having come out, and no one's talking about Cassandra Nova.
Well, even when we watched it the first time, that was, I think, one of both of our complaints is that this was just a throwaway villain, and you could tell it was a throwaway villain.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we agree, like, overall in Marvel, that this is kind of the five of where we're at.
Oh, Hunter's got a good suggestion, but, it is kind of cheating. You could say technically he was already introduced in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, but you could say Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin in No Way Home. I mean, his better performance is in the original Spider-Man.
Hunter.
No one thinks of his performance in No Way Home.
Hunter.
I'm sorry, Hunter.
Hunter. I'm just going to say his name a couple more times and get the point across. Hunter, come on now. Work with me here, okay? Let's find some common ground, okay?
Yikes.
You can't have Green Goblin thrown in there as an MCU product. I'm sorry. You can't do it. Just like you can't have Hugh Jackman thrown in there as an MCU product. Sorry. Doesn't work. But anyway, yeah. Hunter just made my point for me, and I'm going to move on. The fact that he's like, you have to go outside the MCU to find a good MCU villain, you just made my point. So anyway, I don't even know why I went on that tangent, but Thunderbolts, it's okay. It's a little better than okay. It's acceptable.
I just wish that same level of maturity that they approached the themes of this movie with would be taken to the other MCU movies that do have that star power, that character power, and higher stakes, better villains.
I really liked what they did with Natasha in Black Widow, the movie Black Widow, right? Which is sort of the same thing that they're going with Florence Pugh here in this, of like giving her a deep backstory. It just came a little bit too late.
Yeah.
Like they needed that movie to come out a few years beforehand, but they can go down this well of deep, complex character studies, and typically they work. The timing always feels off a little bit there. But Thunderbolts making $76 million domestic. How big of a drop-off will there be from week to week? That's going to be one of the major storylines that we are covering. Does the movie make more or less than $45 million in week 2? More or less than $45 million in week 2. I feel like that's a good number.
That is a good line. Because that'd be right at, does it keep like
there's no competition.
A 60% audience retention.
There's no competition here for Thunderbolts in its second week. They carved out 2 weekends to own.
They did. The only new releases this weekend are Clown in a Cornfield, Fight or Flight with Josh Hartnett, and I think a Romeo and Juliet movie.
These superhero movies are typically pretty top-heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So how big of a drop-off, Because if it is a 60% drop-off, it's a big loss.
Yeah.
For Marvel in week 2 with Thunderbolts.
It makes me think maybe it holds a little bit better because people who were on the fence about it said, I'm not going to go see it opening weekend. I'm going to wait for people to go see it.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not as steep of a drop-off as we think. Maybe some of the typical opening day Marvel crowd is just planning on seeing it this weekend now instead.
Maybe. I don't know how many people consider repeat viewings for a movie like this.
No. Oh, I did see some people say that they've seen it 4 times already. That's insane.
Yikes.
Anyway. Gosh, I'm going to say just barely crosses 45 million this weekend. Just barely.
So above the 45 million. We'll see. But I don't even have an official projection. I love my number so much that I'm just going to stick with my number and let you guys tell us whether or not it makes more or less than 45 million in week number 2. But it's right there with Ant-Man and the Wasp, which made $75 million, and the Eternals, which made $71 million its opening weekend.
Oof.
Still think, once again, I'm going to say it over and over again, the Eternals was the biggest failure in Marvel history. The MCU history.
Does anyone disagree with that?
I don't know if anybody disagrees, but that's like the moment where they said, oh, we can be anything. We can be comedy. We can be horror with, Multiverse of Madness. We can be action movies. We can with Black Widow and stuff like that. Like, we can be spy movies. We can be anything. We can also be Oscar movies. And we're going to give you the Eternals, which is going to be an Oscar movie. Whew. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. All right.
See, I didn't even go see Eternals or stream it because Kit Harington, as much as I love Jon Snow, whenever you give him something else to do other than be Jon Snow, it's a terrible movie.
Yes, typically.
Remember Pompeii?
Yeah, there's some horror movie you saw with him.
Oh, yeah. It's a werewolf movie, but you never see the werewolf.
Oh, that sounds awful. Let's see. Marvel spent, by the way, $180 million to produce the movie. That's not including marketing and stuff for Thunderbolts. So the break-even point is going to be a tricky thing to hit here, especially domestically. But it did add $86.1 million overseas this past weekend. So, it's going to be a stronger overseas affair than what you're getting in something like Sinners, which is why I feel very confident that Thunderbolts will make more than Sinners when it's all said and done. But we'll see. But, Sinners is not performing well overseas, but it continues to perform well here in the States. It's a 1932 set vampire movie that we have been talking about, listening to the soundtrack, voicing our love of every weekend. There's no difference here. They are getting that 9 IMAX screen push in 70 millimeter. A lot of people think, hey, this is a big, Disney lost sort of moment. Like they're pulling Thunderbolts off the IMAX and they're going to put Sinners up there this week. No. Or it's next week or whatever. They're pulling Final Destination Bloodlines, which is the same studio off to continue to run Sinners. So the studio is eliminating its own screen space that it had to then put Sinners on 9 of their most premium format screens throughout the country. So Disney's not taking a hit here really in any way. And I just want to point that out for those that thought Thunderbolts got some big sort of shot across the bow there from Sinners. But this movie's awesome. I love it. It is my favorite movie of the year. I think it is the best movie of the year. Tyler, also, the last I checked, you still believe this is the best movie of the year?
Yep.
And
I'm planning on seeing it again. I want to see it again. So tonight, if The Screen Unseen is not the movie I want it to be, I'll either see The Surfer with Nick Cage or I'll see Sinners again. But yeah. I don't know. Right now, I'm leaning towards Sinners again.
$236.7 million globally so far. A lot of people said the break-even point on this movie was like 220. So it's already grossing now a profit. And Ryan Coogler's going to get the rights back to this in 25 years, now 24 and 11 months. And it's going to end up being very good for him long-term that his family and estate is able to continue to collect off of this movie, which I'm really looking forward to the 25th anniversary of this film so we can go see it and see what Ryan Coogler does extra special upon its release, if theaters are even still a thing there, or if we're still alive. How's that sound?
Yikes.
E.G., I just thought I'd bring you in for the most depressing part of the show.
No, totally.
Set you up with absolutely nothing to hit home. There we go.
It is tornado season.
That is correct. Minecraft continues to do really well as this movie's barreling towards $1 billion. Do you think it's going to get there? It's totaled $873.4 million so far.
It'll probably get there, to my dismay.
It brought in another $13.7 million in its North American gross. It's going to take that overseas gross or some re-releases with all these block parties and stuff, even though
I don't feel like the block party screenings and the chicken jockey screenings will do well, because
I agree.
The whole point of the meme is like kind of going against the rules.
Correct.
And this always happens. Once the corporations lean into the meme, it's dead.
And that's why it's actually a good thing for us moviegoers.
Yes.
Because the more they lean into it, the less kids want to show up and do this garbage where they
100%.
toss stuff. And so we should root for these, like, hey, come on in, have some civilized fun. It's
heard
like
that these screenings, it's also like you throw plushies. Because you can't, they're not going to let you throw popcorn, obviously.
Plushies that they charge you, or you can bring your own plushie in?
I imagine both.
Okay. There we go. Let's see here. Rust has arrived in theaters. Did you know this, that Rust had come out?
I saw it, but it's not on the AMC app.
115 theaters across the country.
Oh, wow. Big release.
Which is only 106 more than what Sinners is getting in its IMAX 70 millimeter re-release. But you know how much it grossed in these 115 theaters? Total. $25,000.
Oh my gosh. Is that real?
That's real.
Ooh.
I know.
Yikes.
I didn't expect people to be clamoring to see this movie in the first place. My thought is, if people won't go see Horizon,
yeah,
which has got no drama around it other than Kevin Costner's really proud of it and he's poured his whole life into it and he's taken this big gamble on making it his passion project and there's sequels announced and he really cares about it. Other than that being the drama surrounding the movie, No one went to go see it. Why would anybody go see Rust, which is a Western that has it's literally got blood on it? Like, why would anybody go see it? I just don't understand what they thought here, but that's what estimates are suggesting Rust made in its opening weekend, $25,000. So
Jason says it's streaming already too.
Rust is?
That's what Jason says.
I mean, I'm not doubting it. I'm intrigued by the strategy there of how much does it cost to rent Rust? Like $20?
YouTube says you can watch it now from $6.99.
Really?
That's what I'm seeing right now.
This strategy makes no sense to me, what they're doing with Rust. So.
Oh, yeah, you sure can rent it on YouTube.
And who was it that said that in the chat?
Jason.
Jason, appreciate you letting us know there, but no one clamored to go see it.
You can also rent it on Apple TV. So if you got a morbid curiosity like Westerns.
Yeah, sounds awful. Okay, so once again, Thunderbolts number 1 with 76 million. Sinners number 2 with 33 million. A great hold for Sinners there. Like a 20% drop, I think it's around a 20% drop. 33 million. A Minecraft movie there at number 3. The Accountant 2, a movie Tyler highly recommends there at number 4 for a good time at the box office. A lot of people saying that movie's going to do really well when it hits streaming.
Oh, yes.
A lot of people are going to find it, and it's one of those perfect,
yes,
just enjoy it in your own pace sort of movie.
It's a good dad movie, I think.
There you go.
And also, I think this would be a solid date night movie if you're trying to just have a chill night at home.
Yeah. It's a blue-collar event.
Yeah.
The Accountant 2. Which sounds weird because The Accountant is that profession. It's a white-collar profession, but it's a blue-collar movie. Does it make sense?
John Bernthal really brings that down-to-earth vibe.
Where he plays himself in every movie.
Yes, he does. He plays one character.
Until Dawn, I think, actually holding pretty well there at the number 5 spot, making $3.8 million. Maybe my nieces and nephews finally got around to seeing it. They were so upset I hadn't seen it. I almost called you. I was like, look, talk to them. The Amateur there at number 6. This is the Rami Malek movie, which I thought I was excited for, but now have no desire to go see in the theater. And I'm trying to figure that out, why that happened.
It's fine.
Just fell under the radar.
Yeah.
No word of mouth on it at all. No buzz.
Yeah, I wasn't blown away by it, but I also wasn't crazily disappointed by it. I was just slightly disappointed. Just that's a movie now.
That is the case. It is a movie. The King of Kings at number 7. Warfare at number 8. Hit, the Third Case, at number 9. Is that anime by chance?
I'm looking at the distributor, and based on the name, I'm going to assume that's a Bollywood movie.
Oh, okay. Can never tell. And number 10, the Nicolas Cage movie you almost saw coming in at the number of $674,000, The Surfer. That's what I have in the early studio estimates. I don't know. The actuals come out today. They may be already out, but there we have it. That is your box office rundown here on the Meltdown. Okay.
Oh, Snow White made $236,000. Nice.
Yeah. If I'm Rust, I'm looking at that going like, man, we really bombed this weekend.
The Legend of Ochi got $340,000.
Yep. Okay. So there we have it.
Wait, hang on. You said Rust made $25,000.
That's what I have.
Pride and Prejudice, the 20th anniversary re-release, made $135,000.
Yeah.
The Penguin Lessons made $46,000 in 55 theaters.
With the amount of people who just stumble into random theaters after having bought a ticket, like 25,000, I feel like the number should be even higher. Like of people just randos that end up like going, what can I walk into and get air conditioning? And a lot of times now you don't even get air conditioning.
That's been my biggest problem here lately. That I'll go to a 2-hour movie and I'll just be sweating the entire time. And I'll think, my gosh, like, are they going to be able to keep running this place? Because that makes people not want to come back.
Well, once the 100% tariffs are put on, there'll never be air conditioned again. Okay, let's do this.
I'll never get to watch more anime.
Let's play a little Tim with Tim, okay? We're going to play Turbo Tim with Tim.
Let's do it.
Everybody ready?
Ready.
I'm going to give us a little, there we go. Nice little tunes in the background as we play some Tim and Tim. I've got 10 questions. We've got about, 10 minutes or so It always goes around 10 minutes. As we now have our first question is this. E.g., name 3 scents that you like. 3 scents that you like.
3 scents that I like. I like Italian bergamot.
Okay. Time out. Time out.
It's a good scent.
If you had correctly predicted that that was going to be the first thing that EG said, you're a liar. That's the first thing.
That is so true.
Secondly, that is the most EG answer I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got to tell a story.
Okay.
I am filling in for technically Scott Forrester on the next round. Tyler's moved positions. I've taken his position for today and tomorrow. I am a coffee drinker in the morning. I need coffee. I could not get said coffee in the morning. I had no options. And so I text EG. I go, EG will have a solution here because she occasionally will come in with breakfast and stuff. So I give her this task
Mission.
of please secure me coffee. I'll pay for your breakfast. We'll make it even in the wash. And you delivered to me a spectacle of coffee.
Yeah.
Like you took this job real serious.
Extremely.
Yeah. What was the order?
This was my order. This was my order to her, and and then she'll tell you what the actual order was.
Yeah, because you were having all sorts of reactions up there, and I was like, "Oh, I wish I had gotten in on this coffee order."
My coffee order to her was, I want a house coffee, basically hot coffee. I don't like cold coffee. Hot coffee, as God intended, and extra cream, extra sugar. That's it.
Okay.
I like mine to be whimsically, creamy. Whimsically creamy. Okay? Which is how I would describe my personality.
Oh.
Anyway,
See,
you delivered to me something that was like a
Yeah.
Willy Wonka concoction.
Now that you say that, I understand what you meant by extra cream, extra sugar. I thought you meant that you just wanted it to be extravagant. I interpreted that wrong.
Okay?
So, like house coffee.
I want it to be extra.
House
Don't
coffee.
bring me normal ass coffee. I want extra.
Yeah. Like a normal hot coffee with extra cream and sugar, house blend did not cross my mind at all.
Well,
Sorry.
it's good.
Okay. So I got you a venti hot brown sugar espresso cortado with add cinnamon, add brown sugar pumps, and maybe vanilla syrup.
See, when she told me this, I thought it was going to come in like a like a flauta or something.
Yeah.
It sounded like something that came in a wrap.
Yeah. No.
And I was like, is this a coffee? I didn't even know if it was coffee at that point. I still don't know if it's coffee.
It
I don't know
was.
what I drank.
Espresso. There was a lot in there.
You drank a mixture of
Flavors.
syrups.
The further I went down the venti cup, which I've heard is large.
Yeah.
Venti stands for large.
Italian.
Well, it means 20. I don't,
Oh, it means
th-
20?
It's large to them, but
Whatever.
it translates.
We're
to
not telling
20.
where we went. Anyway, the further I went down, the sweeter the concoction got.
Which,
Yeah. And I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying that, I'm still recovering from it a little bit. I think it's affecting the show performance today, to be honest. I'm a little off my rocker.
I'm sorry. It was a lot of caffeine, a lot of sugar.
Anyway, so when you talked about Italian bagatos or whatever are your favorite smell,
Yeah.
I immediately thought of that coffee order. Because
Yeah.
it can't just be a simple smell for you.
No,
It's got to
it
have
can't. It has to have a
some
little
extra.
flavor. Yeah, it's funny you said house coffee with extra cream and sugar because that just really didn't cross the mind.
How many questions are we in right now?
Just one.
This is one, or
and-
technically
A
half.
quarter, really.
Yeah,
So, anyways, Italian bergamot, I love, and I'll bring this in for you guys to smell tomorrow. It's Dot by Marc Jacobs. It's a floral meets citrus meets bright scent. Are you talking about like perfumes or just like scents in general?
Just scents in general, but you're knocking this out of the park.
And then my third one is Beach Walk by Mason Margiela. It smells like expensive sunscreen and being on the beach.
I understand about 20% of the words you're
Okay,
using.
well, I'll bring both
but
for you guys to smell tomorrow.
I'm not cultured, E.G.
I've been thinking about picking up some of the replica by
Replica, yeah, that's the same line.
by Margiela.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to pull the trigger on it though.
Yeah, I use the Beach Walk one and the Replica line.
What is happening right now? By Margello?
Mason Margiela,
Yeah.
Mason Margiela?
designer.
I don't know anything. Perfume and cologne ads freak me out.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, the ads are weird.
Yeah. Tyler, what are 3 scents that you really like?
Vanilla,
That's one for me.
coffee.
Hold on.
Wait. You don't like the scent of vanilla? EG?
Artificial vanilla is nasty to
I
me.
love artificial vanilla. The more artificial, the better.
No, like give me vanilla extract. Yeah, when I'm baking, but artificial vanilla, like strawberry shortcake, like food scents make me want to vomit.
Oh, that
Clean
is
scents for me.
Oh man, and you like sugar.
I love sugar, but I can't do the artificial smells. Like artificial vanilla perfume. If someone's wearing it and I pass them, I'm like,
I've thought about just lighting a bag of sugar on fire and seeing if it replicates that same smell. I don't think it would be as good. I like the fake stuff.
I'd like that better. Okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
I agree with you, Tyler. I love the smell of vanilla. My mother, though, right there with EG, hates the smell of fake vanilla through the house.
I also really like the smell of coffee.
Me
Strong?
And my third scent is Burberry Brit. I'm a big fan of that cologne.
Okay.
Okay, which would be equivalent to it smells like a...
It's like a very fall woody kind of scent, almost. Kind of a...
You almost went 3 for 3 with me. Now, I may like that third scent. I just don't know what it is.
Let me get an official description of Burberry Brit.
But I like a new car smell.
I do like a new car smell.
You do like that?
Yeah, I like a new car scent.
Is there a candle that's new car scent? I'm sure there
There
is.
probably is. I think the Italian bergamot to me smells like a nice hotel.
Okay.
All right, so here is a tag for Burberry Brit. If you want to know what it smells like, this is my favorite cologne. I don't go out the house without it. A sharp, woody fragrance, warm and spicy. Notes of ginger blended with cedar wood and tonka bean.
Tonka bean?
I don't know what a tonka bean is. That sounds like something from Willy Wonka.
I know Tatanka, which is a wrestler back in the day.
Okay.
Ush knows who I'm talking about. Okay, let's go to this. What is your favorite board game to play? You can only pick one.
Ooh, got it.
Tyler, what's your favorite board game to play?
Going Monopoly.
I love Monopoly, but I cannot find a lot of people in my life who do.
Nobody wants to finish a game of Monopoly.
Correct. If you start it, you got to finish it. It's like Jumanji.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Catan. Or Catan to some.
really?
Love it.
Wow. You did not strike me as a Catan player.
Expansion pack and all. Oh, yeah.
Did you know this?
I didn't know this. Maybe we should bring back Meltdown Tabletop and play some Catan. Settlers
I
of
would
Catan.
love to.
I've heard it pronounced both ways. Catan, tomato, tomato.
Yeah.
Monopoly, Monopoly. I've heard all of it.
Monopoly.
That is also correct. Sarcophagus. Okay, let's go to this. Question number 3. What's the weirdest thing you'd say you've ever eaten, E.G.? The weirdest thing you'd say you've ever eaten?
Weirdest thing I've ever eaten.
Is there something that pops off the plate to you? Like, I avoid weird foods on purpose.
Yeah, what do you classify as weird?
Octopi?
I've had I've had that.
You've had octopi?
Yeah, calamari.
Okay. Have you had caviar?
Yeah.
Caviar's
Pretty
not,
weird.
I mean, it is a little weird for those
Pretty
that are
weird.
uninitiated.
I've had you know what it is? That gives you my answer. Caviar flavored potato chips.
Ew.
Yeah, they were far too expensive.
I feel like you put caviar just on the title of anything and the price of it goes up a lot.
Exponentially, yeah.
Caviar flavored potato chips. That sounds awful.
They were terrible.
It sounds awful. Tyler, what would you say is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Like EG, I'd probably go with octopus. I've had raw octopus before. Probably maybe sea urchin. That's a pretty weird thing.
Like old boy style, like where it's
Oh yeah, I slurped down the tentacle. Yeah.
yeah, that's basically what I'm looking for there. Okay. This is going to be question number 4.
Oh no, wait, I got a better answer. I didn't eat this actually, but it was offered to me. It was a chocolate pudding made by my neighbors from the Philippines. So, chocolate pudding up top. At the bottom was pig's blood. And then there were chopped jalapenos throughout. I said no thank you.
Yikes.
Know your limits, Mr. Wayne. Know your limits. Okay. Go to this. This is question number 4. If you could have anyone in the world right now that you don't already know walk through that door for the very first time, who would it be? E.G., we're going to start with you. you don't already know this person, like they don't know you, like you don't know them on a personal level, you know of them.
Yeah.
So it can be obviously a celebrity, it can
Joe
be an
Burrow.
influencer, it can be.
Just kidding.
No, you're not. That's you let your intrusive thoughts win there.
I did.
Yeah. Just help me out here. Okay? I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds.
Okay.
But why is Joe Burrow someone that you find to be incredibly complex as a human being?
I don't think he's very complex.
Okay, complex maybe. Why do you find Joe Burrow
He's got a Batmobile, Tim. He
does have
He's
a Batmobile.
literally
Batmobile.
Batman.
Why are you obsessed with Joe Burrow? That's the
I
question.
don't know. I feel like it's just like kind of what, like that's, I don't know. He just is the latest heartthrob for the girls.
So this is a common thing?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not like on an
No,
island here.
I'm not on an island on this.
Okay, I'm figuring all this out.
Yeah.
Okay, he plays for the Bengals, you know.
Yeah.
The Bengals are not really looked at as like
No.
a great organization.
No.
Okay. So like if you could put Joe Burrow in any NFL franchise, where would you want him to go?
I don't care that much, if we're being honest.
Okay. That's
Like,
all I needed to
Yeah.
hear.
I mean, Joe Burrow.
We'll leave it at that. Tyler, you can have anybody walk through that door that's not Joe Burrow. Who are you picking?
I mean, I guess I could go in the same vein as EG and say Mikey Madison.
I'm about to spray both of you with water bottles. I'm just going to start blasting.
Yeah.
What is going on in here?
I don't know.
Sydney Sweeney.
Pheromones in the air or something. I don't think that's the right word for
Who
that.
would you pick?
Are we going with the same vein here of
I
like,
mean, you can.
okay.
Now remember, Tim, you're the only one here who doesn't live alone.
Very proudly married here. Let me think here for a second. I want this.
I have another one that would be more serious, I can say.
Okay, you go with that one.
Just for like the vibes, Kris Jenner would be really fun. I'd like also want to pick her brain like business wise. Good stories.
I do feel like there's a whole household of those individuals that any one of them walk in and you're like,
Yeah, like the Kardashians or the Jenners. Like I have no shame in my like. I keep up with them.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Keep up with the Kardashians.
I don't know. I honestly don't have right now like a celebrity crush
Yeah.
type individual that's like, top of mind ever. Maybe I need to change that. You can't even get a Nora on 4K when you order it and pay money, much less Mikey Madison walking in.
Man, I'm about to buy it twice.
It was on sale this past weekend on Amazon. I almost sent it to you, but then I'm like, I don't want to push it because then if I push it, he may just be like, honestly, I don't want it. I don't know. It was going to break my heart if like you were like, I don't want it. Okay. I don't know. I'll think more about that, who I would want walking in. But Dirk Nowitzki, right? I have a man crush on Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, okay.
That's my Dallas Maverick guy.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Cool.
I prefer Joe Flacco over Joe Burrow.
Oh, I hope you do.
Sorry, just leave me at that. Okay, we go to this. What's your favorite type of cheese, Tyler?
Love this question.
Favorite type of cheese?
Yeah, it depends on what you're doing. Because if you're making a sandwich, I think Colby Jack is a good option. I think Havarti, if you're making a cheese a sandwich with cheese,
Havarti's
is a
great.
great pick.
It's great.
But yeah, I'm gonna go Havarti because I've also had that with in a charcuterie fashion, and it's a great addition there too.
Okay, good answer there. What's your favorite cheese?
Tim, I love this question. I love cheese. I love all kinds of cheese. I like cheese dip. I like basically anything.
Nacho cheese?
Well, no, not the orange stuff. That's not real cheese.
I like any kind of cheese except for the kind that is most prevalently used at sporting events.
That is not real cheese. Okay, Trader
She's
Joe's
correct.
unexpected cheddar. It'll change your life.
Trader
$4.99
Joe's
for a little
unexpected
block.
cheddar. It's
Unexpected
just a
cheddar.
block.
It'll change your life.
Wow.
What's unexpected about it?
I don't know, Tyler. This is unexpected. It's like a good
Okay.
flavor, great on charcuterie boards, cheese and crackers, with a little apple. It's incredible.
Is it like how they have sharp cheddar? Like this one's just so sharp you
Yeah,
go, whoa!
yeah. It's not very
that's
sharp
unexpected.
though. It's not overly sharp. It's a good full body cheese flavor.
I've always had this question, and
Okay.
I'm hoping you can answer it for me. I think that everyone has this question. They're just afraid to ask it. And I think I've earned the ability to be able to ask you this question that's deeply personal. Are you
Okay.
ready? How do sideline reporters, do they eat before the game or after the game or not at all, while they're working? Or how does that work from
Well, I used to be so nervous to do it. Like, I'd throw up if I ate, so I didn't eat before. But, like, now I'll do, like, a good meal beforehand.
Like how many hours beforehand?
Like, a couple hours.
See, like if I was a sideline reporter,
Yeah.
which I never will be, but like I would be worried that I would drop some cheese on my white pantsuit.
I'm not, like, once I get to the venue, I'm not, like, chowing down.
Tyler found that to be funny for some reason.
The idea of you in a white pantsuit. It was the funny part.
I mean, that's what sideline reporters do. They have fashion, Tyler.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had drip like that.
Yeah.
Like, I remember at baseball games, you have to kind of eat, like, a little snack at some point. I would always go with the Snickers. Very, like, foolproof. You can't really go wrong.
I've worked a lot of sporting events.
Yeah.
Like with credentials and like I'm back behind the scenes and
Yeah.
it's like, but there's always like a little food area. And I never don't peek my head in there and be like, what's going on in here? Oh, y'all have got Caesar salad that's been sent out for 6 hours? I mean, I'm interested. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all have a stack of chicken sandwiches?
Yeah.
Still in the foil?
You got, fountain drinks.
Ooh, Bama has the best pregame meals, but Georgia, as in the university, they kind of gave them a run for their money this past season. Like, in that setting, they've got good food.
But do you actually have time to like chow down?
Well, but when I've done I haven't done sideline for those games, so like probably not. Once you get there, like adrenaline, everything is such like at a peak. Like I'm not even worried about.
I know.
You know what I mean? And then afterwards though, I would go to Cookout. Actually, I can't say that restaurant. It's not that restaurant. I go to a restaurant that has trays.
She goes to a cookout.
a
Yes.
cookout.
She goes to a neighborhood cookout.
Yes. I
A
do.
tailgate.
A tailgate, if you will, and I chow down.
Gotcha. They need to work on their menu. Okay, we go to this. E.g., give me what you consider a giant pet peeve of yours.
Giant pet peeve of mine. Give me a second. We could be here for a long time. I don't know how to narrow it down. Can Tyler go first?
Sure. Yeah. E.g.'s like, I could do a Meltdown countdown right now
Please.
with honorable
I
mentions.
could. But Tyler, take this one first.
Giant pet peeve of yours.
Now, are we talking about just like...
You define the setting, the one that pops to your mind, because if I go in this setting, you go, well, I would actually choose this, but it doesn't. You pick whatever direction you want to go. It can be while driving. It can be in a classroom. It can be in a workplace if you want to, start to get deeply personal with all of us. It can be, when you're in a restaurant. It can be at a library. You pick the setting. Maybe you're shopping and you're like, oh my gosh, I hate when people... But it's like something that is one of your triggers.
I guess this would be a driving one.
Okay.
This is the first thing that popped to mind. Hunter knows what I'm talking about too, because Raccoon City has a problem with this. But the signs that say "keep moving."
Yeah.
People like to stop at those.
Yeah.
They do.
And I just think, like, the world is your oyster. You did the one thing that the sign said not to do. You could have gone straight. You could have gone left. You could have gone right. You could have slowed down just a touch. You could have sped up even.
Yeah.
But you did the one thing the sign said not to do.
Signs intimidate people.
You have no creativity, no vision.
That's good.
Okay, I could go one in every setting, and I'm going to give you two. Driving related, people that don't go the speed limit. They go under. That they cruise at 45 and the speed limit is 50. Go 55. Don't go 45.
Right. Break the law.
I hate that.
Can we get that in
like
quote?
a true Atlanta native.
Yeah, it's more. I'm convinced it is more dangerous to go slow than to go a little over the speed limit when it comes to the highway. I'm not talking excessive speed.
I get it, but I mean, you screaming at elderly people that are going 50 and a 55. I don't feel like it's gonna bring world peace.
Get out of the left lane then.
Oh,
like, I can't handle it.
Okay.
Oh,
Makes
you
me
meant
angry.
also in the left lane?
Honestly,
In general,
in
really,
general.
yeah.
Okay.
Other one was when you say hello to someone, just in general, hey, how are you? And they just look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
You're not mute. Maybe you are, but please respond.
Yep. Okay. And what was your second one?
That one. The hey, how,
Oh.
like,
I'm sorry.
you weren't listening.
I was. What was the second one again? I heard the first one, which was the slow.
When you say hello, how are you to someone, they just look at you like you're crazy.
Oh,
They don't
EG
respond
has
to
a
you.
new pet peeve.
I didn't hear
Yeah,
the
not
second
listening.
one. I'm
Half
sorry, people not
listening.
listening. I was actively engaged in
No, you're
the
fine, Tim.
slow driving, and I missed the second one. I don't feel like it got nearly the real estate that the first one did.
It didn't. It didn't. It's
Okay, kind of slipped under the radar for me. But because I care, I wanted to know. I could have just faked it. I'm like, yeah, those are two good ones. I don't know the second one. Could have. E.g., who is your all-time favorite Disney character?
Hannah Montana.
Wow.
Quick.
Damn, that was quick.
Yeah.
Damn.
Love Miss Hannah Montana.
Okay. Things changed drastically for Hannah Montana
I wrote
over
a
the course of
letter.
her career.
I wrote a letter to Miss Miley telling her to remember who she was in Hannah Montana.
Why are we just now hearing
This
about
is
this
the-
halfway through the show?
This is the happiest follow-up I've ever had, where I could have easily gone, all right, good answer, Tyler, and we would have never got this story. But then I make the little joke about how it doesn't really, she starts to go a little bit off the beaten path, and I just want to warn you, and then that's when we get to what is the gold mine of this. There's no answer Tyler can give that's going to beat whatever you're about to say. Hold on. So she performs at the MTV Video Music Awards.
It was either that, it was either Can't Be Tamed era, or the MTV Music Awards, or there was another incident.
How did you get said letter? How did you get a mailing address? Where did you send it?
I sent it to either there was either the Disney Corporation in California,
Well, they agree with you.
or, but I addressed it to Miley. It was a P.O. box, I want to say. So I had just done some digging.
Percentage chance she ever got that message?
Oh, probably -15.
Okay, -15.
But I told her, I went and I looked at her catalog of Hannah Montana episodes. And I thought, what episode will resonate with her now? Like, maybe she needs to go back to her roots. Yeah. And so I gave her a list of Hannah Montana episodes to watch to remember who she was. It was handwritten, 2 pages, very firm in my conviction towards her. I just want you to be better, Miley.
What if 10 years from now she's doing an interview and she's like, I got a letter that changed my life, and she brings this up, and you happen to be the interviewer that's right there?
I would say, Miley, wait. That could have been me.
Be the viral moment of the...
It would have been. It was bedazzled. I sent it with some stick-on jewels on my diary floral notebook pages. Wow. And it was very impactful for me.
Very impactful for all of us. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Do you have a copy of said letter?
I don't know. I can ask my mom. That was when I really got into letter writing as a mean for coercion/persuasion.
Okay.
So lots of people in my life started getting letters after that.
Okay. Never open a letter from E.G. That's my third mission. Coercion.
Yeah.
Russian spy here.
No.
Okay. Tyler, who's your favorite Disney character of all time?
I think I'm just going to go with Stitch.
Okay. You're about to be very happy because I don't know if you've heard this. There's a Stitch movie coming out this month. Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
It's going to make a ton of money.
Oh, did you see that at some Thunderbolts screenings? They had a Stitch sort of animatronic scanning people's tickets.
I did not.
Oh, you should look up the video when you get a chance. It is fantastic. He has a much better attitude than the lady at the Prime Theater.
I would assume so.
And then
We've called her by everything but her name. But yes.
Well, do you know her name?
Honestly, I don't, which is probably why she's the way she is, because no one ever asks, what's your name? How's your day going? But, I mean, she will run you down.
All she ever says to anybody is, papers, please.
I think we are 2 days away from being able to put in our profile ID and never having to show ID again.
We are AMC updates on the 7th. But they've been having Stitch check tickets, and they also have a giant popcorn bucket with an animatronic Stitch hiding in it, and he pops out and scares the guests. It's pretty funny.
I had Jason send me over the weekend the popcorn bucket they're going with at Alamo Drafthouse for the 50th anniversary of Jaws re-release, which is a giant shark that you eat popcorn out of its mouth, and it looks very enticing.
Was it Regal or Alamo Drafthouse that had that one?
It was Alamo Drafthouse.
Alamo Drafthouse,
Yeah.
Yep.
I think Regal has a different one. They have the Amity bucket. Remember the Amity bucket we talked about?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's like a map of the... I kind of like that one more than the shark one, to be honest.
I like the shark one.
Okay. Maybe we can get both. Maybe we can get somebody out there with an Alamo Draft House to send us one.
They're also releasing a 50th anniversary steelbook.
Oh, really?
Oh, the cover art looks
No. I
sick,
saw this. Yeah. It does look... I just bought the 45th anniversary steelbook. But it looks good, too. I kind of want both, but I don't know if that makes me a weirdo. Probably so. Okay. We're going to go to this. I don't want anybody to answer that one.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see here.
This was serious.
9 with Tim today.
9 with Tim, potentially.
What?
I'm trying to
Bench.
see which one of these I really like. Okay.
Was that our 9th question, the Hannah Montana one?
I don't know. I've lost count, to be
I
honest.
think that was 7.
I want to
never
pick. I
count.
want to
I
pick
just-
a really good one. This will be our
I
last
just
one.
answer them until it's over.
Okay. I'm gonna go with. Ugh. I wish I could pick a really, really good banger here to end.
I think you can.
I'm working on it. You guys stall for me just a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great job, guys.
It's been one of those kind of days. I'll just do a quick chat check-in.
Yeah, do that for me.
Let's see. As far as pet peeves go, Hunter says property managers not fixing a raccoon problem.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep. And he agrees with me regarding the keep moving sign. He says every day. A lot of people are complaining about the amount of Sunday drivers on 280, strolling at 42 miles an hour. And Jason's eaten brain and eggs, as far as the weirdest thing
Gross.
people have eaten. And Charles has eaten squirrel.
Yikes.
And then there's also a lot of love for E.G. mentioning Settlers of Catan.
Yeah.
I'm still shocked by that. That's the biggest.
Really?
Yeah, total plot twist there. Okay, I'll go with this one. I hate it, but I'm going to go with this. Our final question.
All
This is
right.
not the one I wanted to go with, but we're going to go with it. If you could tell us what your car's name would be, if you were to name it, what would your name of your vehicle be?
That might be my pet peeve is people naming their cars.
Yeah.
Really?
I got to agree with E.G.
I agree.
I hate it when people do that.
That's why I didn't want to ask the question. I was like, I got to come up with something else. This is awful.
I don't even know.
I know.
Uh,
There's no name that really works, right? Would you have a female name or a male name for your car? I would call my car Excalibur.
that kind of fits.
Yeah.
Excalibur. It's blue. You could do like, yeah.
You want to
Is it-
just give
I
out the
feel like
license plate number for everybody too?
No. Yeah. I don't even know. I'm sorry.
That's why I didn't want to ask the
Let me
question.
just think.
I knew this was going to be a stinker, and I asked it anyway. So I'm going to do, I think there's some booze I can give here.
Yeah.
I guess my car would be a guy. No, it'd be a girl.
I will not answer this question out of protest.
Why?
Because, I don't know.
It's an awful question.
It's a
I agree.
bad-
What? So you name yours Excalibur. I would name mine. Blah 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 blah. Batman. I just read Batman.
So it's funny when you said blah, 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 I hit what is labeled as sad trombone on this, and it literally made the exact same noise. You went, blah, 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 blah. You know,
blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't know. I just really don't like people naming their cars. I know some people have really big attachments to naming their cars. I don't get attached to vehicles. I don't get attached to most non-animate objects. What about you guys?
I get attached to a lot as a physical media collector. I get attached to a lot of them. Yeah.
No, not really. I mean,
Okay.
I guess shoes, but not to the point of naming them.
We should have called today 9 with Tim because that's
Yeah,
all we could give you.
that's okay.
We were out of gas in this Excalibur. That's going to do it for us. But we tried. I knew it was going to be a dud question to end on, and I was trying to avoid it, which is why I went through the laps of like, let me find anything but this. And I just didn't find one I believed in, so we ended up with a dud. So that's the way it works. None of us won 10 with Tim today. But
That's
the
okay.
Hannah Montana letter, once you reach that point,
It's
there's
just-
no question that can be asked to end this that would actually
I'm
win.
gonna look for it this weekend. I'm sure there's a photocopy somewhere. So just
Please.
I'll bring that in. It's not gonna be bedazzled because it's obviously not copy that got sent.
Not the OG.
Not the OG, but we can make some things happen.
Please let me know about that. Speaking of making things happen, you can do that at MyBookie at mybookie.ag, where you can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. They're at mybookie.ag. See the promo code there. Next round, all one word, for mybookie.ag. That is going to do it for us here on the Meltdown. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Tyler, we got some fresh content going out later today. What is it for everybody?
Oh, we got some new trailer reactions coming out later today. We've got one for the new horror movie from Studio Neon called Together that stars Allison Brie as well as Dave Franco. It looks absolutely bonkers. And then we've also got a new teaser reaction for the latest Spike Lee joint, Highest to Lowest, a remake of Akira Kurosawa's movie High to Low, starring Denzel Washington and A$AP Rocky.
Good content there for you right here with the Meltdown. We appreciate your subscription and for being a loyal Meltdonian. We will see you again tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, right here on the channel.